Hi everyone, welcome to INE Live. It is Tuesday, August 2nd, which means it is Tech Tuesday here at INE. I'm your host, Catherine Brown, and today we're digging into INE Fundamentals. You may have heard about fundamentals, but you may not know exactly what it is or what's changing, and that's what we're here to break down today. Fundamentals is essentially a new subscription structure designed to give you more control over your IT journey at an affordable price that is literally the best deal possible in the IT training industry. And we're going to dig into a little bit of that, and we're going to show you why on this stream today. First, as we do each time we stream here on INE Live, I want to let you know that we are streaming live right now across social media platforms, including LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Be sure to like and subscribe on the social media platform you're using so you can stay in the loop when we do go live. And we want you to get involved, talk to us, talk to others. We love to see that. We've got chat coming in, and we have a team monitoring chat. So if you have a comment, feel free to drop it in there. And if you have a question, do us a favor, put a Q at the beginning so we can find those easily. You already see a couple questions coming in there, so thanks for that. Be sure to get those questions in. We will get to as many as we can today. With that, I want to bring in our guests. First, Richard Mclean, the CEO of INE. Richard has been with the company nearly 2 decades and has a hand in every piece of what INE does. Richard has successfully led the company through numerous acquisitions, including eLearn Security, Pentester Academy, and CloudSkills.io, among others, and has grown INE from a small IT training firm into one of the world's leading IT lab platforms. So Richard, we're so glad that you're here today. Thank you.
Awesome being here. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right, also here today, Icca Voucher, head of marketing here at INE. Icca has nearly 20 years of experience in the tech and healthcare sectors and is here today to talk through the details of what the Fundamental subscription plan includes. Icca, so glad to have you here today as well.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. Richard, I want to go to you first. And really, I think, let's just address right out of the gate, why should anyone care about INE changing its pricing structure or changing its subscription structure, right? Like that sounds kind of boring and dry, but behind all of this is really something that we as a company and really you as the CEO are driving. This is a change that we wanted to make for students. Why should people care about INE Fundamentals?
Yeah, first I would say, like, just from the start, I think we really wanted to make sure that the training was accessible. And I think we started out when we first started the company started in 2003, and when we first started, packages were ranging from $2,000, $2,500 for a single course. And I think we got to the point where it was just becoming so prohibitive to even get in the industry. There were a lot of barriers to entry before that, and then adding the training on top of that to another barrier to entry, and we were trying to really address that and alleviate that. And so we came up originally with a subscription plan, and it was really targeted at experts in the industry looking to get to that next level of echelon in the IT world. And so really wanted to kind of address everybody else that is not to that level of proficiency yet, right? So you're not an expert, maybe you're not even in industry, you're really looking to break into industry. And I think what we did was we came out with the how we released the Pentester Student and the EJPT. When we came out with these things, in part of the starter pass, we really opened the floodgates to just a number of students across the world who normally would not have access to training. And so I think that really resonated as our mission, and what we're trying to get across is really to open the doors of accessibility, across the IT industry and across these verticals that we teach to. So that was really the driver behind it, was really to create something that was accessible and yet really compelling and I think in depth, and gave people what they need to get to that next level within their career.
Yeah, to that point, Richard, first of all, I've worked very closely with you for a couple of years and have lost count of the number of times that I've heard you very passionately talk about increasing accessibility and really broadening accessibility, making sure that more people have access to better content and more thorough content, expert content, but also this fundamental learning package. And that's what we're focusing on here with Fundamentals. As you said, there's a lot of expert content out there. None quite as good as ours, but a lot of it. But when you're first looking to break into the industry, it really can be extremely overwhelming.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge that are the biggest, I think, questions people come in with are, how do I know where I am today? Now, how do I get to this point? And they put a finger on a job resume, a job posting, or a company, some role within an organization. And I think that barrier in getting in, I think is probably one of the hardest, because I think once you get in, you start seeing like how these things work, and you start kind of getting more and more comfortable with like what the next steps are. So I really think like opening those doors and bringing people in and kind of getting to a point where we can create a sustainable model for that, I think is really important and really helps accelerate people's careers. And I think we've done a large part into that of really putting that information out there on how to get to that next level in your career.
And I want to bring Icca in here now for this next piece and really get into the specifics of what is Ine Fundamentals. We've heard Richard talk kind of high level about why we're doing this and broadly, what the purpose is. But Icca, I'd like you to dig into specifically what is Ine Fundamentals. What are people getting? What are people getting out of it?
Absolutely. So it's access to over 200 hours of content, 600 videos, as well as hundreds of quizzes and labs. You get access to 2 learning paths for each of the learning pillars within Ine. So networking, cybersecurity, cloud, data science. And those introductory courses or introductory learning paths are Cisco Certified Networking Associate, getting started in networking. The Ine Certified Cloud Associate is actually something I'm going through right now. Azure Fundamentals, first steps in data science with Python, Python data scientists, and then Pen Tester Student 1 and 2.
Okay, and so as people navigate through, getting this fundamentals, once they get into the platform, right, my.ine.com, they then have these learning paths laid out. And I think, and keep me honest here, Icca, but at least from everything I've heard, I think the purpose of this is really to make it easier and more streamlined for these students who are coming in and saying, I want to be in this field, but I don't exactly know where to go or really where to start.
Exactly. And that is why, there's 2 learning paths for each of these learning pillars. So, you can get, that intro content to each of those pillars. So determine where within IT you want to be, where your interests lie. And then, learn that basic, more novice knowledge that you can build upon to, upskill your career.
All right, so let's get the nitty gritty. Icca, let's talk prices. And for that, we've mentioned that we are sort of altering the pricing structure here, more options and more access for students. But take us through the prices. What's included in each of these?
Absolutely. So I'd like to first start with saying there isn't an option to purchase like a fundamentals business plan on our website currently. But if you are a business or enterprise client and you're interested, please reach out to your account executive. They can certainly help you out with that. So in terms of plans and pricing for our individual learners, we're offering both a monthly and an annual subscription. The monthly fundamentals is $39 per month, and the annual is $299 per month. That annual plan actually comes with a free certification voucher for both the EJPT and the ICCA. And you can even, do a 7-day trial of the plan if you want to see firsthand what it's all about. I'd also like to remind everybody that, we've just launched the EJPT V2 beta. So, you can save that V1 voucher for the V2, but only once it's become available publicly later this year.
Awesome, and we are getting a lot of questions in chat today about how to be a part of the EJPT V2 and how to get the invite. So as an aside, while we're mentioning that, you can go to our website, you can fill out the form, you will get an email in a couple weeks once our team here has had a chance to go through all of the applicants and figure out who meets the criteria, and then you'll get a note saying either you were accepted into the beta or you were not accepted into the beta based on criteria. But I just wanted to address that because getting a lot of questions, and since you mentioned that, Icca. Yeah, great. So. All right, so we've got a couple different prices for you, and I know for a long time people have been asking for a monthly option, and this monthly option is vastly different from any monthly option that we've offered in the past because this includes labs. To that point, we believe it is essential that people have a way to practice hands-on. Thank you, Icca. Richard, I want to go back to you and see if you can just kind of take us through the platform experience. Draw us in there And show us what people will experience when they sign up for Fundamentals, and where they'll go and how they get started on here.
Yeah, I would first say, like, just to follow up on some of the points that Icca brought up. I think, like, one of the things when you're getting into this industry is that you look at things in these kind of isolated buckets, right? If I'm doing programming, or if I'm doing networking, or if I'm doing cybersecurity, but the reality is like all of these fields are interrelated, and so I think that's where this, this subscription, this access, kind of lets you see that, whether you're doing, like, IP addressing in the cloud, or if you're doing firewalls, however it may be, like, there are these technologies that are kind of all interconnected. And so having a subscription that kind of gives you access to the best instructors across these verticals is a huge benefit. I would say the other thing, just to follow up, is, if you look at, like, what is IT Essentials, and you put it comparable across, our nearest competitors or other training companies in the space, I would say that the Fundamentals Pass is probably the best damn value in IT training. We do included with the annual purchase, I think it's $300, if that's right. And I think included with that purchase, you also get vouchers for the certifications, which are, amazing. You look on LinkedIn and you see, how many people are just celebrating their eLearn security, all these different certifications, and you see people getting recognized, you see people getting jobs. It's incredible, like, what this training can do for you. And I think that can't be understated, like, how much value is there. And when I go and look at, like, something like a Cloud Plus or Security Plus, or some of them on the same comparable level of difficulty, I would say that you're looking at those programs and they're $1,000. Or you go to Global Knowledge and you buy a class for the class is $4,000. I mean, it's crazy. Like I said, like, those are the barriers to entry that others are still putting out there. And I think, like, in this day and age, like, you have to have labs, which most of these other competitors don't, and you got to make it affordable and make it reasonable. And I think that's what we've done, and that's what the Fundamentals Pass is to me. It's a way to make a kind of sustainable model of great content at that entry level, or just beyond point in your career, and really give you a stepping stone into the next level of your career.
Yeah, and I love that you brought that up. I was just going back through our communication, Richard, on Slack over the last couple of days, and I found a quote on G2 that addressed exactly that. And I remember I slacked it to you a couple of days ago. Alex wrote, although I primarily use my subscription for cybersecurity, I'm also able to access material on programming, networking, data science if I want to. This helps strengthen my understanding of the fundamentals of computing. And that's just to kind of back up your point, as people are going through this process, that's what they're getting. If they're interested in a certain vertical, they are getting that sort of well-rounded knowledge within this fundamentals package.
Yeah, 100%. And when you look at, like, when we say data science, and I know a lot of buzzwords around data science, whether it's AI or machine learning or, deep neural networks, whatever it may be. But, like, when we get to the fundamentals of what is data science, a lot of the things that are in our pass and as part of the fundamentals pass of data science is a lot of stuff around programming, about learning Python, about, the stuff that you're going to need no matter which of these other areas of you're really interested in. And it's also, I think, a great, obviously data science is a great tool just to have in your tool belt, but, the programming aspect, I think, also transcends kind of all of these verticals and is really, really well done. And you can program within the browser, et cetera. So I think that's, overall, just an amazing value for what's here.
Yeah. Going through the comments, Shava writes, courses on cybersecurity, obviously referencing what fundamentals, part of what fundamentals have. Where shall I start, and what next, and how can I find myself in this major? And I think that just is reflective to me of, I think, probably what a lot of people are wondering, and that's, how do I navigate through here? And I'll toss it over, to both of you to acknowledge this and just kind of talk through it. But that's really what fundamentals is all about, right? It's helping people, giving them tons of options to say, hey, you're not at that expert level yet. You're here. You're just entering. There's a wide world here, right? Explore it all.
Well, I think the gap right now between people that have these skills and the number of companies looking for people that have these skills is massive. And we know it's going to continue to grow. And I think that we have to do everything we can to really help students achieve the ability to kind of land, get into the field and get these jobs and really be successful. And so I think that's where this comes in as well, is trying to close that jobs gap that's out there and that's growing. And I think, yeah, I mean, the getting your feet in and getting kind of these skills under you is just going to be a huge win throughout your career. And Erica, I don't know if you want to add to that, but that's the way I see it right now.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. And, INE is full of really, really smart people. Our instructors, have, years of experience. So from a personal perspective, I'm coming in and I'm, trying to go through these learning paths and actually, get that, that basic knowledge. So that way I can, sound like I know what I'm talking about when I'm speaking with them. But it's the perfect, way for me to learn, from start, hopefully, and I can continue, but, from someone who didn't come from an IT field, looking to, get well versed, in the different pillars, it's absolutely working for me. So as I mentioned, I'm going through the ICCA right now, so hoping to be able to take that certification shortly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen a couple of your posts, Erica, and I know you and I have talked briefly about it. So I'm following along. I started EJPT a while back and then sort of got sidetracked. So I should pick that back. I'll use it as my inspiration to pick that back up again.
Well, there is a new version that we just launched. It's
I've heard something about that.
Pen Tester Student V2. I think the amount of content from our previous version has really increased, and we've put new labs associated with it. We're working right now on getting the beta of the EJTP V2 certification out. So there is, like Erica mentioned, there is a sign-up page for that, and I think there's been an overwhelming number of sign-ups already. That's going to be open until Friday. If you're really excited about that, please sign up, and we'll try to get as many people into that beta as possible. But like I mentioned, the fundamentals pass that we are putting out there, it does come with a voucher. And that voucher will be for the EJPT V2 as well. So that's really exciting. And, also part of that is the ICCA voucher for the certification there. A lot of great feedback on the ICCA. So really, really, I think overall, the voucher right now, I think anywhere from $100 to $200. And so having that as part of the annual subscription, I think is just a huge value add as well.
Richard, I remember, gosh, probably 18 months ago, you and I were sitting probably on a Zoom, and we were talking about the pricing structure and about some of the prices for INE and what we were offering. And I remember you very clearly just saying, if I was a student, I wouldn't take this, and that's why we have to change this. That's one thing I've always really admired about you, is the fact that I think you continually look at INE's offerings from the student's perspective and constantly look at the competition and say, okay, what is delivering the most value? I've seen you do it. I've seen you go through that process over and over again. And I love your tagline here, the best damn value in IT training, right?
Yeah, I 100% believe it as well. I think there are a lot of places out there where you can get free content, free information, and there's a lot of great resources, but I don't think that they're necessarily put together in a way that kind of shows you through to the next level in your career. I think it's a lot of scattered information. And I think really collecting that together, putting it in a package, putting great instructors behind it, putting labs, all these things behind it, and then, capstoning that on certifications. I think this is where the real, all of that together becomes really the value proposition. And I think it's an amazing one, where we're at today.
A lot of excitement on chat about fundamentals, a lot of excitement on chat about EJPT. It's a really exciting time to be a part of things here at INE. We're growing, we're going fast. We are growing and changing at, I like to say, faster than the speed of technology. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Richard and Erica, thank you both for joining us, breaking this down, and answering some questions today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great being here. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, that is going to wrap up today's stream. Thank you for watching. If you missed it live, you can look for the replay across our social media channels as well as on the INE website. Be sure to like and subscribe on the social platform you're using so you can stay in the loop for details on our next stream and, of course, those notifications when we do go live. We'll see you next time. Until then, have a great week.